What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we do upload PvP content every single day, so please consider subscribing if you are into that type of content. I would like to personally thank everybody for subscribing, liking, commenting on this channel. We have passed 100 subscribers. Couldn't be more grateful. Honestly, when I made this channel, didn't even think I would reach 100. So anything above that is a blessing, and I'm really thankful to all of you. First matchup here is against 10 Monolith, and in this video we're going to be looking at Clefable. And Clefable really impresses me a lot lately. That charm damage is really good, but I find that it's really good against a lot of Pokemon that people are tending to lead right now. For example, here Altaria, that should be an instant switch out, and they bring the Deoxys. So initially I didn't really know how to play the Deoxys switches with this team build because I could bring in the Marowak, but it is weak to the Rock Slide, so it becomes a matchup where you have to burn 2 shields. So because Clefable actually is not necessary to beat the Altaria because I have the Azumarill in the back, I'm okay staying in here with the Clefable against the Deoxys because Clefable is going to win this matchup. Charm is just so damaging, and as you could see here, we're going to be able to farm down, get to another charge move, and we only had to burn 1 shield. We got to shield out our opponent as well, so I've kind of discovered how to play that matchup now with Clefable. And I'm just going to throw the Meteor Mash, whatever comes back in. It is the Altaria, and they are going to shield up. And in this situation, my opponent probably is thinking that if they get past Clefable, there's no threat to the Altaria. However, the Altaria is already pretty much gone, trying to farm down that Clefable, and the Azumarill is in the back anyways to take that. So they're going to bring in the Meganium here. I'm going to switch into the Alolan Marowak. And at this point, I'm going to shield up because the Earthquake would pretty much one-shot Marowak. So we're going to go for the Shadow Ball here. And this is going to be enough to take out the Meganium. And the Altaria is going to come back in the back, but this match is pretty much over with the Azumarill in the back. So we're going to take up that first win there. Yeet on the Haters is up next. And leading the Clefable into the Breloom. This is an amazing matchup. You really like to see that. They switch into Probopass here. And there's a debate between whether I bring in the Marowak or the Azumarill here. Now the thing with the Marowak is that it's going to be really weak if it's running Rock Slide. The Fire Spins are going to be super effective, of course, and so is the Bone Club, but the Bone Club's not going to do that much damage. And if I bring in the Azumarill, it's possible Probopass may have Thunderbolt. So neither situation is too amazing. However, I think the correct move here would be to bring in the Azumarill instead of the Marowak, just because the Azumarill is a bit tankier, so it wouldn't put as much pressure on my shields as the Marowak does. So I'm actually going to shield up here because I'm trying to maintain switch advantage in the hopes that I can line up my Clefable with the Breloom, because I don't want my Breloom to go up against the Azumarill, obviously. So I'm going for the Bone Club here, but I am expecting a shield. And it's going to become a race now to whether or not I get to the charge room or farm down. I did get to the charge room, but it looks like I lost the CMP tie there, which is interesting. And the Rock Slide is going to KO. So I'm going to bring back in the Clefable here because I know I could farm down at this point on the Probopass. And if they have a Registeel, it'd be really bad. But they actually bring in an Umbreon. So they're running 2 Pokemon in the back who are both weak to Charmers. So this is really good for me. And the Azumarill may not even be necessary at this point. So shields are down. Shields aren't necessary at this point. Both of these Pokemon are going to lose 2 of the charms. Last Resort comes out, does a decent amount. And the Breloom comes in. I was thinking of switching out for the Azumarill to absorb some damage, but I didn't know the Breloom was going to take damage like that badly. Like, that was insane. So we end up winning that game. Keyrock 88 is up next. And they're going to lead the Quagsire. So this matchup could be unfavorable, assuming that the Quagsire is running Sludge Bomb, I believe is the poison type move it runs. But you can see these charms are doing a lot of damage to it, and by the time it gets to the first charge move, it's already almost at half health. So I do shield this up, anticipating possibly a Sludge Bomb. It is an Earthquake, actually. So either way, we would have to shield that. Go for the Meteor Mash here. And my opponent does shield that, so at this point, I know that they're trying to get off a second charge move. And I know if I shield this, I can farm down, have energy, and maintain switch advantage. I will be down a shield, but I'm okay with that because look how much health my Clefable has. So we're down a shield, but we have a lot of health on the Clefable. Now Skarmory isn't exactly what you want to see come in here. And the debate could be made whether I want to switch out. But I don't really want to lock myself into another match. So I'd rather just let my Clefable go down here Preferably I like him to use a charge attack, which he does, and he kind of has to because you can see those charms are doing a lot of damage there. Even though this Skarmory is not going to take much damage, it's still doing a lot. So we bring in the Alolan Marowak here, and this Sky attack is going to come through. Obviously we'll survive that, and I'm trying to see if I can farm down, but I was a little frightened, so I go for the Bone Club because I know in this range Bone Club will KO. So let's see if he chooses to burn a shield. He does not. Let's see go down. Brings in the Deoxys, and at this point I have to go for the Shadow Ball. And this actually isn't the best case scenario for us because the Marowak isn't going down. I'm trying to switch out to get the Azumarill to absorb this damage because I want the Marowak to come back in after with energy for the Shadow Ball. But we actually were able to swap in and catch the Rock Slide, which was even better. And at this point, even if it's a Thunderbolt, we should be able to get to a Hydro Pump, which will pretty much win us the game. Before we get to another charge move, we do, so we get to the Hydro Pump. This is going to put the Deoxys very low. And at this point, the Deoxys would have to overfarm anyways to beat the Marowak in the back. So we're going to be able to just bubble down here and take that game. And 3-0 so far. Next match is against Blue Ego Bram. And, you know, I don't have to be the one to tell you that the lag has been absolutely unbearable lately in Go Battle League. So, this matchup here, Victory Bell against Clefable, not the best matchup. As you can see, the Victory Bell absolutely shreds the Clefable. And I have to bring in the Marowak here. Now, I should definitely tank this move because it's most likely going to be a Leaf Blade. And he brings in the Azumarill here, so I have to switch into my own Azumarill. And preferably, I would like to stay in this matchup here because I am running Play Rough and they're running Hydro Pump, so I should be able to win this match. The only problem is I don't know what else they have in the back. So that Victory Bell, we could take care of it with the Alolan Marowak. However, I would be anticipating the Victory Bell to come in at some point and try to Razor Leaf down the Azumarill once the switch timer comes up. So we have to be a little bit aware of that. And our opponent is going to go for the charge move here, likely going to be a Hydro Pump. It's actually an Ice Beam, so they did bait me, so that's even worse for us. And the Victory Bell does come in. As you can see, it's just absolutely shredding us. I bring in the Marowak, which does KO, but our Victory Bell is in a, or not Victory Bell, our Azumarill is in a very low health state. And that worked out really well for them because it basically kind of used up their switch timer in a sense, the Victory Bell going down so quickly. So they bring the Azumarill back into a favorable position, and I'm switch locked now. And my Marowak is pretty much my only healthy Pokemon left to win this game. So I would need to get to a Shadow Ball here, but we have no shields left. So obviously we're going to lose here. It's possible maybe that Registeel in the back. I've been in a decent position, but yeah, at this point the game's pretty much over. Let's see if we could even see what the third Pokemon is. We will be able to see. Let's see what it was. I'd just like to see what the third Pokemon is just to know. It is a Registeel, so we did have the right idea there. But that Victory Bell lead was a little difficult to deal with. And I guess there could have possibly been a win condition if I looked over this matchup again. Something we could have done differently maybe. But the... maybe I didn't have to switch out of the... Oh no, the Clefable fainted, so... Either way, Alphasaurus is up next, leading with the Skarmory, so not a good lead at all for the Clefable. And we're going to have to switch out of this matchup here. Trying to see if I could switch on the charge move. I wasn't able to. So I should shield here. No, I let it go through. Okay. So Skarmory is going to come back in. And they switch into their own Azumarill, and I'm totally okay with this, obviously. A lot of energy stored. The Play Rough is going to be doing a lot of damage compared to the other moves that Azumarill could throw at us. And let's see if this Azumarill is also running Play Rough. So I'm obviously not going to shield the first one to see. It is a Play Rough. Okay, so a little bit unfortunate, but we have a big energy lead, so we should beat this Azumarill to the Play Roughs. And I have that Skarmory in the back. Or, well, I have a little Marowak to face that Skarmory in the back, rather. But I'm going to have to win this matchup here, which I should be able to. It would be interesting if our opponent actually shielded here. So let's see what happens. I assume they're running Play Rough and Hydro Pump, so there shouldn't be an Ice Beam bait. But they do let the Play Rough go through, so we maintain switch advantage. The Skarmory comes back in, and we're not going to be able to get to a charge move. So I'm going to bring in the Alolan Marowak here. And these sky attacks will do a decent chunk of damage, but because we have our shields left, we could shield that up. Try to commit to a farm down here. He actually brings in the Toxicroak, which is really good. You could throw one Bone Club and then just bring in the Clefable, who will be able to charm down most likely. But we're just going to go for the Meteor Mash here. So we'll also do a decent chunk to Toxicroak. He chooses to shield. I don't know about that shield, to be honest there. So Sludge Bomb is going to take us out. And I'm going to come back in with the Marowak. Go for the Bone Club. Unfortunately, I let the Toxicroak beat us to it, so that's very unfortunate. And this is actually looking a little bit problematic right now. Thankfully, we do get the Mud Bomb. And this should be a win. That Skarmory's going to have to throw a lot of charge moves. Could be close, actually. Depends how much energy this Skarmory has here. We should be able to beat it to the next charge move. We do. So we get the Bone Club. And in this range, Bone Club's going to KO the Skarmory. So we're going to end up taking this win here. We end up winning 4 of 5 matches in that set here. And Matisse is up next. So Clefable lead into the Stunfisk. Very interesting matchup here. As we saw in the previous video, Clefable can win this matchup. All you have to do is make sure that you shield at least one discharge. So I'm going to let the first one go through it as Mud Bomb, so that's good. We don't want to shield the Mud Bomb there. And at this point I'm going to shield, because we're going to have to shield at least one move. It actually happens to be another Mud Bomb, which is fine. That's okay. As long as we could shield, the next move will be fine. So we go for the Meteor Mash here. And they actually choose not to shield that, which is a little bit interesting. And I'm able to farm down. So we only had to burn one shield there. We are down a shield, of course, but that's fine. And Skarmory comes back in again. A lot of people are running Skarmory in this video. So just going to go for the Meteor Mash here. Now, we could go for the Psychic, try to get that defense debuff. But I didn't want to get hit by Sky Attack, so I just threw in the Meteor Mash. Either way, it's not much of a difference between the two. So this is going to be a Sky Attack most likely. Comes through, and we could have farmed down, but they actually switch out. I'm going to go for a Bone Club here onto this Sableye. And we get the shield. Going to bring in the Azumarill here. And we're running Play Rough as well, so this is a very favorable matchup for us. First move is going to come through to Power Gem. It'll be a decent amount there. We're going to get to this Play Rough. And this is definitely going to have to be shielded by the Sableye. And at this point, just have to shield up here and get to the second Play Rough, which will KO the Sableye. And then the Marowak in the back will be able to take care of that Skarmory. If not, the Azumarill itself will be able to finish it off. So the Skarmory comes back in. It doesn't really have much health left. It's going to have to throw its charge move anyways. And Alolan Marowak's going to come back in. I believe the Marowak has a lot of health. Or no, it doesn't actually. So this is a little bit closer actually. Actually, we were probably going to end up losing this. Sky Attack here. Wow. So very well played there. Not sure how we ended up losing that game. It's a little disappointing. Sayu 1915, I believe, is up next. And another Breloom lead. So they're going to switch into the Jirachi. We're going to bring in the Marowak here. And these Fire Spins will do a lot of damage. Bone Club will also be doing some nice damage to the Jirachi. They choose to shield that. And in this situation here, I actually let it go through, and it happens to be a Psychic, so that's doing a lot more damage than I wanted it to. And I try to commit. There's been a little bit of difficulty in trying to click Bone Club while I'm doing Fire Spin. Fire Spin's like a 3-turn move, so sometimes I click it, but it doesn't actually process. And we almost end up losing switch advantage there as a result. The Breloom comes back in. I'm definitely going to shield this up. I think Breloom runs Sludge Bomb, or this one happens to be Seed Bomb. So maybe it doesn't run a Poison type move. I think it does, but I may be wrong. Either way, they bring in the Azumarill. Definitely going to go for Psychic here. And this Psychic is going to be shielded. We do not get the defense debuff there. And I'm going to shield up this Ice Beam. Switch into my Azumarill here. And go for the Play Rough. So it's very unlikely that our opponent's Azumarill is running Play Rough because they've already shown Ice Beam. Most likely they're running Hydro Pump with that. I would expect this here to be a Hydro Pump. It is. And they're possibly going to switch out of this matchup soon. But we get to the play rough first. So this should probably KO here. Yeah. So the Azumarill goes down. And the Breloom in the back is pretty much dead. So we end up taking that game. Mark X Dunn is next up. And he is going to lead with the Jirachi. So Jirachi versus Clefable is not a good matchup. Gonna have to switch out. Bringing in the Azumarill this time. And this is likely going to be a Doom Desire. So I shield that up. Still going to do a decent chunk of damage, to be honest. And I'm going to go for the play rough here. Did build up for the Hydro Pump. Let's see if we could get the shield. We do. Not very effective, so a good shield for us to get there. And the Doom Desire comes out. I'm going to let it go through this time. And let's see if I try building up to the Hydro Pump. A little bit of lag. I do get to the Hydro Pump, fortunately. And let's see if they're going to shield this. They do, so we get both shields. End up losing that matchup, though. And at this point, I'm going to bring in the Marowak, try to farm down. Definitely going to have to shield this up. Well, I mean, we don't have to, but it is another Psychic, so really unfortunate for us. I was hoping for the Doom Desire. Able to farm down here. We have a shield left, but we have... Both Pokemon are relatively low. No, the Clefable I switched out with full health. So the Clefable is fine. He brings in an Umbreon, so I'm going to bring in the Clefable here. Clefable is going to be doing really good damage here against the Umbreon. It is a last resort that comes out. We still do have a shield. And here I'm looking to farm down. I'm going to shield up this charge move. Save all my energy for what is in the back. And it's a Toxicroak, so this Psychic is going to absolutely demolish this Toxicroak. And we've seen a lot of people running teams today that are double weak to Charmers. So they'll have two Pokemon in their lineups that are weak to Charmers. Happens to be Umbreon and Toxicroak a lot, actually. So the next matchup here is Ludicolo, Shiny Ludicolo. Not sure how this matchup goes, actually. It is a Razor Leaf variant. So two very heavy-hitting fast moves. And I actually got him into the yellow first, but he got me into the red first. So a little bit interesting there. We do get to the charge move before him, though. Because we're either going to get the shield or we're going to win switch advantage. He chooses not to shield that, which is probably the correct move. Deoxys comes in. And now I have to bring in the Marowak here. And this is going to become a 2-shield matchup. Because I need to win this. So what I'm going to do is build up to the Shadow Ball. And probably go for the Bone Club the first time. Let's see. Oh, a lot of lag there. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I'm going to go for the Bone Club. This is a bait. If we don't get the bait here, we're going to be in a really tough position. We do get it. And I'm going to have to shield again. And at this point, we have to decide whether or not we want to go for the bait again or the Shadow Ball. If I go for the bait, we'll be able to get to another Shadow Ball for sure. Whereas if we go for the Shadow Ball and shielded, we probably won't be able to get to another Shadow Ball. So it's a little risky. We did go for 2 baits and we got to it. So this is likely going to be a Rock Slide. We should survive this and have enough to get to the Shadow Ball. So I guess you could actually just try baiting with Bone Club once and go for 2 Shadow Balls and still survive the Rock Slide. But you need 2 shields, of course. And the Bastion comes in the back. I'm trying to hit the Bone Club, but that Fire Spin animation is really hard to get off charge moves with. So we don't get the Bone Club off, but either way we should be fine here because Azumarill is running Hydro Pump. So we will get the Hydro Pump off here. And this is going to be enough to KO the Bastion. Or no, it's not, but it's enough to put in range to bubble down. Actually, the Hydro Pump does not KO there. I don't know why I thought it did. Last matchup here against XOX Woody XOX. And he's going to leave the Galvantula. And you're going to see here Clefable absolutely eats Galvantula alive. So a lot of nice damage here. And we almost were able to farm down before Charge Move came. This charge, I believe, is actually the move you want to go for here over Bug Buzz. But thankfully, he's only able to get off 1. He may have had energy for 2. The Azumarill comes in. I am going to go for the Psychic here, looking for that defense debuff. And we do not get it. That's fine. The Psychic does a nice amount of damage to the Azumarill. I used to go for Meteor Mash, but I started realizing that if they don't shield it, it's pretty devastating. So it's just better to go for the Psychic there. It's like just one more charm. And we're going to go for the Play Rough. This is going to be doing some nice damage to the Azumarill. They choose to shield it. That's fine. Whatever they throw at me here, I'm going to be able to tank it. It is a Hydro Pump. And let's see what they're going to have in the back here. We actually look like we CMP tied there for the charge move. So they're going to get off one more. Oh, it's only an Ice Beam, so that's fine. Which makes sense. I tried to undercharge here, see if I can bubble down a little bit, but obviously in this range it's gonna... Oh, we did get an extra bubble. Okay, so good. And the Hypno comes in. Okay. So this is a pretty good situation for us. Definitely want to get the shield here though, because then the Hypno will be able to get hit by that Shadow Ball. We do get the shield. So I'm going to switch into the Marowak before this Hypno could store up way too much energy. This is likely going to be a Ice Punch or a Thunder Punch. But if it was a Shadow Ball, it would have been devastating. So if this is a Shadow Ball here, we are going to be in a big bad situation. But it happens to be another Ice Punch. Going to go for the Shadow Ball here. This should pretty much end the game. And we are going to take that match. So another 4-1 set here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.